You are now watching Zaclasage, the best place to learn about competitive Pokemon TCG. Let's get it! Yo, what's poppin' YouTube? Welcome back to the channel, Zaclasage here. We're going to be covering over another early deck list, and this one I feel is a little extra early. I'm still trying to figure it out, but I figured I'd show you where my progress is because it's a really cool idea. Now, that being said, it's going to be from Astral Radiance, and that card's going to be Hisuian Decidueye VSTAR. Now, Hisuian Decidueye VSTAR has its attack, Somersault Feathers, so it does 160 plus 30 for each energy that you discard from your hands. So it's one of those things where it's kind of cool. It allows you to discard energies, do more damage, and when we factor in the double turbo that we have in the deck, we're doing 160 minus 20, 140, plus 90, 230. There are ways to grow that damage up a little bit more, and its Star of Fortune ability allows us to draw a lot of cards. I know a lot of players really like how this Pokemon's from Legends Arceus, and I mean, Decidueye has always been a fan favorite, so we'll have to see how it looks like in the deck profile today. Check out the description for the list that you can copy and paste. I did use Justin Basil for the translation, so check out that website as well. They're absolutely awesome. And let's jump into this deck and see exactly what's going on. So this deck starts off by using Decidueye, and I mean, I think Decidueye is a pretty cool card, the Hisuian Decidueye that is. So you have access to Mountain Hunt for Fighting Energy, and allows you to search your deck for any two cards and put them into your hands. It's a great way to set things up, and while this deck is kind of built off of a spiritual take of the winning Rapid Strike Urshifu Dark Toolbox kind of deck, this Mountain Hunt is going to be very similar if you go second and you're able to go ahead, Mountain Hunt, search your deck for any two cards. Don't know if I necessarily want to go second, but Mountain Hunt is a great way to start things off. It's point blank shot for fighting colorless. There's 100 damage and isn't affected by anything. So if we run against any weird decks that would just be blocking our V-Star, anything, we do have access to going through with Hisuian Decidueye V. Like we started off the video, Hisuian Decidueye VSTAR is going to be about its Somersault Feathers. So most games are going to be attaching a double turbo energy to this Pokemon, and you're doing 140 plus 30 for each energy that you discard, or energy card I should say. We can get our energy cards with Eldegoss's energy lift attack, or its ability, Cotton Lift. So we can search our deck for those cards, and that's really where I thought of this idea of, like, maybe we could use it with Galarian and Moltres, rip up some things. I also saw that Nick from 9-Card TCG was also discussing a similar idea, so somewhat definitely some inspiration from that. I've been thinking about it quietly, but I mean, I did see them post about it. I haven't necessarily posted about this list in a minute, so check out their channel as well at 9-Card TCG. So we have ways to kind of lift energies out of our deck, discard them, and we're doing 230 damage that way. 230 plus a Choice Belt is 260. Plus Grant, which is a new kind of Leon-esque for fighting type supporters, allows us to get to that 290. Considering we're fighting type, we should be pretty good against Arceus decks, Jolteon decks, Gengar decks, stuff like that. And yeah, like I said, Eldegoss is going to work out really nice with Baby Galarian and Moltres, so we have ways to kind of be a dark type deck, especially considering we're weak to Psychic type against Mew decks that I think are still going to be popular. Might not necessarily do enough damage compared to like Palkia VSTAR. I don't know if it's necessarily going to be in the same league of that, but I do like having these Hoopa attack and then build up a Somersault Feathers with a Raihan. The one thing with all these pieces like Eldegoss and stuff like that, I have not necessarily found the room to play in IntelliOnline, and that's because we play the Greninja as well. Greninja allows us, with Radiant Greninjas, allows us to pitch an energy card from our hand. Again, a lot of it's going to be pitching energies and grabbing energies out of the deck. We could draw two cards. Don't know if that's enough to really roll with this deck, but if it's enough for Darkrai decks, should be okay. And we also have access to Lumineon. We might want a Crobat in here as well. I like the Castform for free retreat only. It is, you want to know what, it's probably better for the Castform. I usually play level balls in decks like this. We don't play level balls, so it's probably better to play something like the Tapu Koko that has the Allure attack. So that's one thing that I'm noticing. You see there's a lot of things that I take inspiration from other decks, and I would definitely play Castform in my Rapid Strike deck. But the reason why I played it is because of level ball. So there's a little bit of a carryover, and I do think the Castform would be better as a Tapu Koko. Like I said, Lumineon's able to search things out, and we have Manaphy because we have a lot of low-lying fruit HP Pokemon. Basically, that doesn't really make sense when I'm saying it, but I have a lot of Pokemon on my bench that have a lot of low HP. They're the low-lying fruit for a Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX to rip them up to shreds. Added a bunch of extra supporters for this deck because we are just going to be drawing through and not being able to search through things. So a lot of it's going to be like, we use Lumineon, or let's hope our opponent didn't play Marnie and stuff like that. We have Bird Keeper to get in and out of the active position. I thought that'd be pretty cool. We have Cynthia's Ambition, which allows us to draw cards if one of our opponents, if our opponent knocked out one of our Pokemon. We've got a couple copies of Researches, Bosses, a couple copies of Klara, so we play more copies of these cards. However, we still have a diverse mix of supporters because we have access to Lumineon and Pal Pad as well. So Klara is going to allow us to get back a lot of those energies and churn through them. We also have energy retrieval for that as well, which will be pretty nice. New card that we have here is Grant. So during this turn, your fighting Pokemon's attacks do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. And once during your turn, if this card's in your discard pile, you can discard 2 cards, except for any Grants. And if you do, you can get this card back into your hands. So it's one of those things where it allows us to kind of utilize Grants over and over again to continuously hit hard with that Decidueye. So even if it's chilling in the discard pile, once we have it in there, we can kind of get it back and maybe clear our hand down a little bit if we're trying to draw more cards with Cynthia's Ambition. So I thought that was cool. Sonia allows us to search for energy or Pokemon. Pretty cool. Raihan can get us back up and going, or maybe build up one of our Pokemon in a pinch. We've got Ultra Ball and Quick Ball, which seem to be working out pretty nicely for this deck. I don't know if I'd really want to play Evolution Incense because this deck can also function like as a basic attacking deck. So it basically comes down to, do I want to be adding in some kind of Inteleon line? Can I cut a 1/1 Eldegoss? Can I cut the Greninja? Can I cut the Lumineon? That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe I'd cut a Hisuian Decidueye. That's 5. We'd still like need to get another 4 spots and add in other things. Like it does make it a little bit difficult to have Inteleon in this deck. So that's one of those reasons why I went with the Greninja, because I thought it was very thematic. It said energy retrieval to get back things to either be using for your Galarian Moltres or for your Decidueye. Pal Pad would work great with a lot of our supporters. Choice Belts to hit those numbers with the Hisuian Decidueye. Air Balloon, I mean, in general, seems pretty nice. Maybe we don't necessarily need Air Balloon. It might be better to play Scoop Up Net because we have a lot of single prize card Pokemon, but I'm still trying to figure that out. And we got 3 copies of the Training Court just to be able to get our energies back. And I found like 14 energies seemed enough with the Hisuian Decidueye. So it's a little bit of an interesting deck. And like I said, it's very early. As you see, I'm catching the Castform. That should be a Tapu Koko. I really like having that free retreating Pokemon just because it's nice to pivot in and out of. But it's one of those things, are we going to find a way to make this deck a little bit better? Yeah, maybe I will add an Inteleon line in. Maybe I will change it up. I do plan on playing this card, or playing this deck a little bit on stream this week, or maybe on a recorded video, so we'll see if I'm able to change it up from this deck profile. I might just go for an Inteleon heavy build and see if I can mimic the success of Rapid Strike Urshifu, but we'll have to see how it plays out. It's one of those things where I'm really excited to try a lot of these new concepts out, and Hisuian Decidueye seems super cool. Very, very, very similar to what we saw before with the Rapid Strike Urshifu deck, so check that out if you are interested in this deck. Otherwise, I will be updating these decks in the deck list profiles, or sorry, I guess I should change that up a little bit. You can see that today I have a lot of thoughts going on in my head. I do update my deck list regularly, especially when it comes to these new decks. So if you are a deck list hookup member or a Patreon deck list hookup member or higher, you'll have access to all of these decks. Same thing if you pick up any of my coaching. The training packages that I have, I also toss the deck list roll to any of those members. So by all means, feel free to check that out. And yeah. So overall, I thought this was a pretty cool way to rock and roll with the Hisuian Decidueye deck. It's not always a Decidueye deck, and sometimes these decks are not going to work on their own. I thought it was an interesting enough attacker, and maybe it can get those Okos where other decks might not be able to. I also really like its ability to try to draw cards, especially in a single prize card setting. I mean, its ability does make it also work without the Inteleon line. But Baby Galarian Moltres seems to be a strong threat in our metagame, as a lot of decks tone down on their Marnies. They're going for these intricate or kind of Drizzile based engine, so it's one of those things where I think that Galarian Moltres does have a home in this deck. So maybe I'm going to change this deck up. I do plan on playing it. Like I said, I think I have my wife lined up to play some games against me, so we'll see if this deck ends up working out against whatever deck she decides to bring it to the fight. But I'm excited to see how this deck plays out, and stay tuned for that. And like I said, probably a slightly updated list. have to see how it goes, but stay tuned for more great content on the channel. Just trying to get everything all prepared. We're a little bit in advance from Indy at the time of creation of this video, but I'm likely going to be sharing this around the time of Indy regionals, so trying to get ahead of my content instead of missing a couple weeks when I get ill or when I'm traveling or anything like that. So I hope you all enjoy the content, and like I said, always subscribe, share, let me know in the comments. I mean, any kind of comment helps with the YouTube algorithm, and I'll always be there to answer everyone's comments as soon as possible. Have yourself a great week, and I will catch up with y'all later. Peace out and have a great day. Are you trying to get better at Pokemon TCG? Well, if you are, you're in the right place. I offer coaching at metafy.gg/@zachlessage. That link is in the description, and you pick up a coaching session from me and book it on the website. I likely have availability this week, and you can see exactly what my availability calendar is at any given time. I offer training plans to help players get ready for any of their upcoming events, including getting all the way to the World Championships, or you can pick up a one-on-one coaching session from me and learn the game at your own pace. I offer a variety of opportunities for players to get better at the game, and it's one of those things where there's a lot of players who I've turned into regional, international, and even a world champion along the way. If there's anything that shows, I have an FAQ on the website, so by all means, check it out and get better today. I'd love to help you on your Pokemon journey and be absolutely amazing to see your growth. Check out PTCGO.store.com, the best place to get Pokemon TCG online codes. There's a lot of selection available, and I have a discount code available for the website as well. You can pick up any kind of cards, just going up here. You can add them to your cart in any quantity that you need to get the cards that you need. And you can go to the discount code right over here, and you can put in code ZLessage5 to save 5% on your next order of codes. I truly appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. It means the world to me. And my goal with this channel is to spread my love of the game and knowledge with our entire Pokemon TCG community. If you haven't already, help signal boost this video to other Pokemon TCG fans by liking it, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to the channel. Hopefully we reach our goals really soon. Check out this recommended video, and have yourself a great day. Thanks.